The value of wrestling. The revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Value of Wrestling, and we're here with the weekly podcast for the week ending on September 2nd, even though it's September 3rd, 2023. And we are going live here momentarily, making sure everything is up and running. Let me get over here and introduce you to a couple people that we all like, love, and want to know. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the big time. Over here is my original tag team partner for the weekly roundup,
Paulus Clarke.
All right. And then our New Japan Pro Wrestling master expert, the man with all the knowledge, New Japan Pro Wrestling,
Miguel Z.
There we go. We'll have to work on a little bit of the introductions and timing better. I don't know. We'll have to come up with something so everybody knows their cue. But hey, we'll get there. And we're here. And we're live. And everything looks good on YouTube there. So, oh, yeah, no. Why is that? Oh, okay. I didn't get... Let me make it look a little more prettier. No, that is pretty. Why is it? Oh, never mind. There we go. We're on the full screen. I don't know why that bottom's showing on there. Let's just make sure we are not too ridiculous. Can we get rid of that? Or are we going to chop off old Buddy Boy's head here? At the bottom of my computer screen is showing on the live feed.
No.
So, we'll see what happens. Okay, got rid of it. Everybody looks pretty now. Now we look good. Much better. Oh, boy. What a tough time. We were going to go live at noon, but that didn't work out. We got here. We're going to go here. We're going to do what we do. We're going to do it like it's never been done before. More stuff coming out for news and rumors and updates. A lot more came out about our buddy, what's his name?
I don't know, but the shirt looks good.
Mr. Brooks.
Kennedy? What? James Storm, Mr. All righty.
I'll have to watch that.
Live. We are all kind of conjumbled. We thank you if you're here watching this live or if you're watching this later. Today is September 3rd. It's Sunday, and we're trying to jam this in here and shove it right in before All Out happens, and we don't know what's going to happen at All Out. At least this time, I bet my best prediction for All Out, and I hope you guys are with me, I do not think we're going to have a backstage brawl at All Out. That is my prediction for All Out. We will not have a backstage brawl.
Care to place a wager? Anybody? Anybody?
$1 million. Now some idiot in AEW had Jack Perry show up and want to start a fight. All righty. Anyways, we're going to cover this week. Then we'll jump into news and rumors. We're all here. We're all going to do this. We'll all be back a little later after All Out. And we'll cover up that pay-per-view and everything that went down on that. Again, we had a lot of technical issues, but we seem to be on point now. Everything looks pretty. And, yeah, so I guess we'll start with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, and somebody's going in vogue. Good job. Strike a pose. Oh, and I've got this stuff, so I can really get good.
Whoa!
Yeah, I get the good crowd to walk up, and then, if you make a really bad joke, you can do this. There you go. And, of course, right now, this is how I feel when I stop talking. All right. So we got some fun stuff we're adding in here. Oh, welcome to the party, everybody. Anyways, let's break down Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was kind of, meh. I don't think it really did anything. I do understand that a lot of people agree that it's kind of was still the fallout after Friday's SmackDown, after the loss of Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. A lot of people were still kind of mediocre, still kind of in and out. It was still kind of an emotional Raw, and it was just really a follow-up to SmackDown. We really didn't progress anything major. We did get a couple things, but to start off the night, we had Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn. Really good match. Of course, JD McDonough. I always want to call him McDonough. I don't know why. Don't ask me. McDonough stopped Sammy from delivering the hula kick, which allowed Priest to hit the south of heaven. And eventually we got the announcement that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens would defend their titles against Damian Priest and Finn Balor at Payback. And if you watch our review from last night, you know what happened there. After the match, JD McDonough got into the ring and was taken out with a stunner and a hula kick by the tag team champions. And I'm just going to quickly go through all this if you guys don't mind, and then we can discuss Raw once I go through the whole card. So
Sure.
Bear with me. Backstage, Riddle. Oh, we have the stupid Riddle thing. Riddle just needs to go away from my TV. But anyways, Riddle tries to get McIntyre to wear the same ring gear as him. McIntyre feels they should figure things out before they get ahead of themselves. Still borderlining on that Riddle, Drew McIntyre, maybe Drew McIntyre turning on Riddle. I'd be okay with that, even though I think Riddle really needs to be a heel. I also think Drew needs to be a heel, but that's okay. The highlight of the night for me was probably The Miz coming out and doing his best LA Knight impression, which is pretty dang good. I have to give him that. He says anybody can be a flash in the pan, anybody can be vanilla, yada, yada, yada. Says when the dust settles at Payback, everyone will know whose game it is, and it'll be the M-I-Z. Yeah. So we got that going down. Then we got the Viking Raiders. We got the Viking Raiders versus the New Day. Matt Riddle and Drew McIntyre provided guest commentary during the match. After Drew McIntyre was attacked, after the match, he picked up his chair and threw it and wound up hitting Xavier Woods and taking out Woods. Woods was pretty injured. The Vikings eventually won with Ragnarok, and the Viking Raiders win a match in a shocking. They win a match on TV in WWE. After that, we get the Damian Priest tribute video, which was still good. Still gives you goosebumps. I don't think that'll ever not happen. But after that, we didn't get the Damian Priest and Finn Balor debate backstage regarding McDonough involvement. Again, Balor says they need to be on the same page. Rhea Ripley intervenes and tells them that if they don't win the gold at WWE Payback, there's going to be changes within the Judgment Day. Priest Jesus cashing in that Money in the Bank again. We have Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle backstage. They are talking to Kofi Kingston about Xavier. Kofi's like, hey, he's not good, but it's all right. We understand. He knows he didn't do it on purpose. And McIntyre and Riddle will face the Viking Raiders next week in a match where he doesn't need, where Drew McIntyre says they'll face the Viking Raiders in a match where Drew McIntyre says he doesn't need to tag anybody, or I don't know if he's, he doesn't need to tag anybody in. So that's going to be an interesting, I don't know if that's going to be a Street Fighter Drew McIntyre versus us Viking Raiders. I don't know. I feel like Drew McIntyre might be joining the Viking Raiders. I know he mentioned he wanted a stable. Might be the right fit for him going as a heel. So from there, the Ring General Gunther comes out with Imperium. He says that Chad Gable has his attention and considers Gable his last obstacle on the road to becoming the longest reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion of all times. And they will fight for the championship next week. Gable says he will defeat Gunther next week, just like he will defeat Ludwig Kaiser. Gable defeated Kaiser, of course, by DQ. The DQ was, of course, by interference from Giovanni Vinci. After the match, Imperium attacked Alpha Academy, and Gunther left Gable out, laid out Gable with a power bomb. So the Ring General. I got to practice that a little better. The tag team champion match at the pay-per-view is now a Steel City street fight, and Seth Rollins calls out Shinsuke Nakamura. Instead, he gets a video package where Nakamura takes credit for being the reason he won't be able to provide for his daughter or walk his daughter down the aisle when she gets married, take care of his wife, do all that stuff. We also had a tribute from Seth Rollins to Bray Wyatt when he came on. I was like, yowie, wowie. So that was awesome. Tommaso Ciampa also gets a win this week over Bronson Reed. And that's all we have to really say about that one. In a promo, Rhea Ripley claims Raquel Rodriguez had to pretend to be injured just to pull one over on her. Ripley says that Rodriguez is a powerful woman, but not Rhea Ripley. She's not Rhea Ripley. Rodriguez heads to the ring. Ripley and Rodriguez fight. Ripley is thrown out of the ring by Rodriguez. Rodriguez approaches Dominic. Ripley tries to attack Raquel from behind and attempts a riptide, but Rodriguez evades, dropping Ripley with a hip toss clothesline. Why do we have to have Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez? How many R's can we put in the same match? I didn't think about that last night. Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez. Yes, Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley. Yes, you can get tongue-tied. The NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton is shown in the crowd again on Raw. And then we wound up getting the Falls Count Anywhere with Becky Lynch versus Zoe Starks. Of course, Becky Lynch gets the win with the manhandle slam through a table in the crowded area. There was a great deal of interference from Trish Stratus, too. Trish got dropped with an errant forearm. And then we had a beautiful, after the bell and after Raw went off, we got Becky Lynch giving a beautiful speech and wind up crying over Bray Wyatt. Beautiful moment. That was Raw. Raw was kind of just a follow-up of leftover SmackDown. It wasn't really anything spectacular. It filled in a couple holes, got us ready for payback, but wasn't really a great show. Wasn't just a horrible show. It was just a show. Gentlemen, thoughts, comments, and concerns?
There's really not much more to say beyond that. Like you said, it was a show. That's all right. Nice way to kill a couple of hours. Since Raw 3 hours, or if you're watching on other platforms, yeah, it was what it was.
It's very just slow burn. All it did. Take you, like you said, SmackDown continued into Raw, and that's where we left off.
Pretty much. Not a whole lot to put in there. So, I guess that will take us right into Wednesday night and take us to Dynamite, which was really another mid-show. But let's jump into it. So we had Moxley defeat Commander for what it was. Of course, we also have to take into consideration that Tony Khan let a lot of people off for Wednesday and the later part of this week for Bray Wyatt's services, which were later changed for whatever reason. I haven't gotten all the details on that, but I know it hasn't taken place or it was changed at some point. So we had Moxley versus Commander. We got a great Orange Cassidy vignette. Orange Cassidy looking really good, looking strong. After the match, we got an all-in clips that shows the Bucks and FTR discussing the lack of respect, with FTR extending their hands post-man handshake. The Bullet Club eventually come out and interrupt, and we get a scheduled 8-man tag made for All Out. So we're getting Bullet Club Gold of Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Gun Club versus the Young Bucks, Balding Buck, an Aging Buck, or Balding Buck, what's the other Buck? Oh, Road Warrior Buck. Yeah, that's right. Balding Buck and Road Warrior Buck.
Road Warrior Buck.
Against the best tag team in professional wrestling, FTR. So that's what we're getting tonight, later on. We'll cover more of that in detail after it happens. The latest interview is featuring the wonderful, delusional Tony Storm and Renee interviewing about the fallout of All In. Storm says the events went tits up, and now that there's unrest between the outcasts, she just says know who she can trust. It was a okay segment, nothing important. They've kind of, I don't know, after this week, like I think last night, or was it, I don't know, it was Rampage or something. They diluted, I don't know where they're going with the storyline. Anyways, we get Jericho out. He says he feels guilty about how he treated Sammy at All In. Jericho calls out Sammy. He apologized. They hug. Things are all good for about 5 seconds. Jericho says he might have beaten Will Ospreay. If Sammy hadn't hit him harder with the baseball bat. They bicker. Chris Jericho cools things down by saying they must focus on going after the AEW World Tag Team Champions together. They leave. So Jericho, Sammy Guevara, still in his old Inner Circle vest.
Inner Circle
vest. So we'll see how that all plays out. Then after that, we had the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Championship, Eddie Kingston versus Wheeler Yuta. Eddie Kingston comes out on top. Good match. What we expect, but nothing over the top. Of course, after about, Claudio Castagnoli appears at ringside to assist Yuta to the back, ignoring Kingston. So I'm sure Kingston's upset that his lover wasn't giving him, or his sweetheart wasn't giving him the attention he deserved.
Those two are great together, though. I love it.
After that, we got MJF and Adam Cole discussing their historic night in a post-AEW All-In clip. MJF announces a tag team battle royal on Rampage to decide on their AEW All-Out opponents. He additionally states that a tournament will be held to decide his new AEW Grand Slam challenger. MJF then announces that he would be taking a week off. Don Callis is seen questioning Sammy Guevara backstage about his choice to keep fighting alongside Chris Jericho. And Guevara tells him, yes, I know what you're up to, but no. So Adam Cole's heading into the ring, and of course we get the broken-hearted girlfriend Roderick Strong out there and the Kingdom. They quickly cut him off. They each turns telling Adam he's selfish, and he quickly forgets about them when it suits his career. Adam tries to apologize, and Roddick will not accept and enters the Grand Slam tournament instead. Adam is left standing alone in the ring, looking dejected. So the broken-hearted girlfriend is going to try and one-up the ex-lover, so we'll see how that plays out. We have Alex out hyping Pinta El Zero Mido. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Anyways, in his match with Orange Cassidy, Pinta says it's not personal with Orange Cassidy, but it will be with Jon Moxley because he hurt Rey Fenix. We got a 6-woman tag match as Chris Statlander, Kira Shida, and Britt Baker defeated Isla Rose, Mina Shafir, and Emi Sakura. So, good match. What it was, Mina Shafir took the pin, and what else can you say about it? After the match, Britt Baker and Shida argued. Ruby Soho came out and attacked Statlander to continue the feud to the match tonight for the TBS Championship. Chris Statlander, the TBS Champion, versus Ruby Soho at All Out. It's announced that Shane Taylor will challenge Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor World TV Championship at All Out. So we have Shane Taylor versus Samoa Joe. Joe's gonna kill you. Anywho. And Don Callis and Takeshna.
We'll see.
Are preparing for Takeshna's match against Omega at All Out. So we have Kenny Omega versus Takeshna. We'll see how this plays out. Joe's going to kill Shane Taylor. That's just the bottom line. Deal with it. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn have a ribbon-cutting ceremony, and we got new AEW World Trios Tag Team titles in pink straps and scissor designs because, you know, one company made new titles for every NFL team except the Jacksonville Jaguars for some reason. And the Trios Tag Team get scissor pink belts. So, yeah, you know, keep up with the times, right? And then we get the AEW International Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God Orange Cassidy didn't get to open the show. We got the main event to show. Of course, Orange Cassidy retains his title with a win over El Pinta Zero Miro. And that means we're going to see Orange Cassidy take on Jon Moxley tonight at All Out. After the match, Orange Cassidy cut a beautiful promo. It was very passionate. How he's going to fight for the International Champion. He's not afraid of Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley came out and Cassidy slapped him before they had a stare down. It was a quick build to a pay-per-view that they didn't really do anything with. It was a mid-show, nothing great. They had about 4,400 people in attendance on that night. Of course, all shows were being recorded or live in Chicago, so I understand that if you're buying tickets to a show, you're probably going to buy All Out first, probably Collision second at this time. Or whenever you're buying Collision, you're thinking you're going to buy Collision tickets for somebody else to be there, which didn't wind up happening. So I can see why the attendance at Dynamite was probably weak. The show came off weak. It wasn't one of their better shows. It was just kind of mid. It got us matches sort of excited about for All Out. We'll see if All Out lives up to the hype. Gentlemen, comments, thoughts, concerns?
Miguel, have you ever seen Shane Taylor?
It's been a while.
Okay. He's been a part of Ring of Honor before it was, before Tony Khan bought it. So it's like, do I feel like Samoa Joe is going to defeat him? Yes. But is he going to kill him? Joe's got a little bit of a challenge.
But should be a great match. I'll take that
yes.
One thing, though. Where can I find that belt?
Which
I
belt?
need the pink scissor belt.
Oh, I don't know if it's for sale yet.
I believe shopaw.com.
Well, Billy said it best. Look what he could do with himself.
He did say it.
I won't say it on air here.
Roger Dodger, Duck Dodger.
Oh, and another thing too is how much more longer is this triangle love story between Callis, Takeshka, and Omega's going to go for?
This feud must
Did this end it?
continue for eternity. We'll have to see. I mean, how much longer are we going to have?
I know they have a match tonight at All Out. We'll see.
How much longer are we going to have MJF, Adam Cole, The Kingdom, and Roddick Strong in this whole weird situation? So, I mean,
I know.
So, any closing comments, thoughts, concerns on Dynamite? We good? Sounds good.
Nope. Nothing left.
No,
That was it.
No. Okay.
Mid.
Mid. Definitely mid. All right. Now we're wrestling. Actually got interesting again. We get over here. Where did my notes go? Okay, we're down there. Come on. Too many screens to click around. Yes, we got SmackDown, and it started off hot with the arrival of John Cena. John Cena came out and thanked the crowd, as always, for giving an opportunity in wrestling before revealing that he would be hosting WWE Payback tomorrow night, which you know if you go and watch the show from last night. You had a whole review of Payback right here on the YouTube channel for Value of Wrestling's YouTube channel. Anyways, we got Jimmy Uso, who came out to new music, which was really interesting at that time, because I'm like, why has he got new music? Of course, we got that explained at Payback also a little bit. Jimmy comes out and confronts Cena and calls Cena pretty much Roman Reigns, says Roman Reigns and him are the same. The only difference is John Cena smiles about it. And so we get that Jimmy said he attacked, of course, Jimmy said he attacked Jay at Uso because he loved him and didn't want him to become like Roman and Cena. Cena then responds, I will say something I've been meaning to tell you for over 3 years. And Cena tells Jimmy the wrong Uso quit. Jimmy tried to go after Cena. Cena moved and put Jimmy into an attitude adjustment. And that was that moment. So Jimmy was there. And so we got an interesting segment there. From there, we got a Austin Theory and Grayson Waller interview by Kyle Braxton, who promised to beat Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar in their tag team match tonight. And so we got the Austin Theory Grayson Waller match against Santos Escobar and the WWE United States Champion Rey Mysterio, along with the other members of the Latino World Order, Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, and Zelina Vega. And, of course, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller came out on top in that match. Then we had Mia Yim was speaking with Adam Pearce before they were interrupted by Jimmy Uso. Pearce told Uso to stop being mean to the backstage crews. Mia Yim complained to... then later we saw Mia Yim complaining to Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows about Jimmy Uso being rude to her before the break. They kind of like, whatever, we don't want to get involved. They kind of blew it off. AJ Styles appeared and told Yim he would handle the situation. Excuse me. Then Bobby Lashley came to the ring. He cut a promo. Lashley explained that the reason he had been hanging out with the Street Profits was that real recognizes real. The Profits joined Lashley and thanked him for the opportunity. Lashley stated that now everyone was on notice because they were coming for power, control, and championship gold before promising to take it all. Which this segment was kind of odd. You had Lashley in there and the Profits came out, and then half the time it seemed like the Profits were going to turn on Lashley. Then they thanked Lashley. It was just a really weird segment that I don't know where any of them are going. I don't know what any of them are doing. They keep building this thing, but they're not really giving it a direction of what is really going down. So as Lashley, the Street Profits begin to leave, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out for their match. They kind of have a stare down, hinting at the future of a Street Profits versus Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match, but maybe that's changed. Who knows now? Go watch the review on Payback to learn more about what's going on. Anyways, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn took on the Latino World Order of Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. Sami and Kevin came out on top. After the match, Zayn called out Judgment Day to bring everything they had because they would be in for the fight of their lives. Backstage segment, we have AJ Styles confronting Jimmy Uso backstage, but was attacked from the blind side by Solo Sikoa. Sikoa demanded an answer from Jimmy to see if he was still in the bloodline, but Jimmy stated that neither Solo, Heyman, or Roman could tell him anything before leaving the arena, supposedly. AJ Styles was interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly, where he challenged Solo Sikoa to a match later in the night. Carl Anderson tried to talk AJ out of the match, but me and Yim and Luke Gallows and AJ Styles rejected. I don't know. AJ rejected the offer, and Styles said he was going to take care of business like he should, because this is SmackDown, and this was the house that AJ Styles built. The Miz comes to the ring, cuts promo saying that LA Knight was not on his level, but was immediately, of course, interrupted by LA Knight. Knight said that he did it all to make it in the business. Knight stated that he was above and beyond Miz's level for making it from the ground, while Miz made his way into WWE from reality TV. We had a great segment that was back and forth here, though. The Miz said he had succeeded because he was a star, but Knight refuted that the Miz was a star because he cut every corner possible before saying that Maurice was the star of Miz and Mrs. Miz stated that the Knight, unlike members of the crowd, had a chance to succeed because he never gave up, but promised to beat Knight and make him go back to the roach-infested apartment. However, Knight stated that he never quit because he did not know how and promised to stop Miz's head in. The Miz went for a jab, but before hitting the skull-crushing finale on Knight, Knight attacked Miz on the ramp before the referees and the producers interfered. We got a great match between Shotzi and Bayley. Bayley tried to get help from Io Sky, but Sky was stopped by Charlotte Flair. Flair laid out Sky before catching Bayley with the forearm on the apron, allowing Shotzi to hit a spike DDT for the win. And then we got the main event match. Solo Sikoa came out, and AJ Styles, he was fading to AJ Styles. Eventually, Paul Heyman came walking down to the ringside. AJ was trying to go up for a phenomenal forearm, got up on that top rope when Jimmy Uso out of nowhere swept him off the rope, sending Styles crashing and allowing Solo Sikoa hit the Samoan spike for a 1, 2, 3. After the match, Jimmy jumps in the ring, or he hits Styles with a thrust kick, and then he comes up behind Solo and trying to hug him, and Solo turned about to hit him with the Samoan spike. Paul Heyman stopped him from hitting that with the Samoan spike, and Solo walked out. Jimmy was in the ring. They had a stare down, and of course Jimmy did the one gesture, and this was SmackDown. And that's pretty much what it was. It's pretty good. It was a little more hype than Monday Night Raw, and so that's what we have. Gentlemen, thoughts, comments, or concerns?
It was definitely a lot better than Raw. I could give it that. I'm waiting for this Bloodline stuff to finally fizzle out.
It's not going to end until April.
It's either got to fizzle out or it's got to. It's either got to fizzle out or it's got to find a new twist to make it interesting again.
Well, we've got a new twist, and we can go over that in a little, I guess, in a bit. But I mean, it's going until the WrestleMania. Everybody needs to accept the fact that this storyline is going to go into WrestleMania, and break it down. We'll break it down after we get through this review, so we can get this review, and then we'll quickly cover that. Any other thoughts on comments or concerns on SmackDown, gentlemen, before we move into this? All right. So then, of course, on Friday, we got also AEW Rampage. We had the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion #1 title tournament Battle Royal. In the Battle Royal, we had the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and John Silver. The Aussie Open, of course, were there. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. The Outrunners, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. The Righteous, Dutch and Vincent. The Wingmen, Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth. It was interesting to see Ryan Nemeth on TV. The Butcher and the Blade. The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff. Action Andrade and Darius Martin. And the Gates of Agony, Con and Toa Leona with Prince Nana. So a lot of good teams in here, but they decided that it should be the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Johnny Hungy for many people. And so we will see them facing Adam Cole and MJF at All Out. But I don't know where that card is. That a opening match card? Is that a main event match card? I mean, you have your world champion, Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. I mean, I don't know where that falls on the card. MJF's the hottest thing in AEW for sure now.
Mid.
All right.
Maybe. Or they might give him the main event.
Aussie Open went to the Aussie Open went to the broadcast table to attack Chris Jericho, but Sammy Guevara made the save for Jericho. And then there was a vignette of Mike Santana addressing his return to AEW. We got a great preview of Santana detailing his road, his debut, his unfortunate passing of his father's injury of on the 2022 Blood and Guts match, and more before stating he was now telling his story, or he had a story to tell. So we're seeing what they're going to do with Santana, something different, something new. It gets him in a direction of something interesting. Then we got a tag match that seemed like Tony Khan took everybody's names that was there and just started pulling names out of a hat, because we got El Hijo del Vikingo and Nick Wayne taking on Kip Sabian and Gringo Loco,
Mhm.
which makes me kind of, because Gringo Luchador or El Gringo Luchador, but hey, that's a different story in a different place. Anyways, so El Hijo del Vikingo and Nick Wayne got the win over Kip Sabian and Gringo Loco. There was a new episode of QTV, and this looks like total garbage, featuring Aaron Solo and Harley Cameron. After being, it was basically a ripoff and a mockery of TMZ. Johnny TV threw coffee on Cameron and Aaron Solo because it was sludgy. I don't know. It was just, it doesn't do anything for me. It just looked like a bad TMZ ripoff. It makes Johnny TV, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Monday, Johnny Mundo, Johnny. I have a million last names because I can't pick one.
Johnny Bloodsport.
Johnny,
Right.
Johnny, stick with a freaking name, please. Johnny Elite, Johnny, I don't know.
Johnny Game Changer.
Maybe he should be Johnny Valkyrie, right? I don't know. Anywho.
Oh. Well, yeah.
This segment to me was just bad. It didn't do anything to do anything. Then we got Hangman Page on Rampage. He defeated some guy named Brian Keith. I don't know if I should know who he was or if his name just got pulled out of a hat. And that's that story. Then we got the former members of the JAS looking like they were still a part of JAS. We had Daniel Garcia, Angelo Parker, Matt Menard in an interview where they stated that being JAS only led to them being left out of All In and promised to get back on track by winning the AEW Trios Championships off the Acclaim and Daddy Ass on Collision. And so, yeah, that's that story. I don't know. Roddy Strong was interviewed by Renee backstage. Strong refused to answer any questions regarding Adam Cole before saying he would talk about Cole in his own time. Main event match. Sky Blue, Willow Nightingale versus Ty Valkyrie and Anna Jay. The only good thing about this show for me was Anna Jay was on TV. And you know what, Jack? I'll put you in a chokehold over her, but hey, that's okay. I'll respect you and let you have her because it's okay. Sky Blue gets the pin on Anna Jay. I was a little jealous there, but we won't go into details. Tyler Valkyrie then attacks Sky Blue after the match. Will comes in for the save. That was Rampage. Gentlemen, thoughts, comments, or concern on Rampage?
Sky Blue was on TV. That I guess that's a good take too, right?
What was one of the original reasons to watch AEW Dark or watch Elevation? Sky Blue.
Woohoo! What?
And it was definitely no slouch either.
It's as good as it was going to be. We already knew with the circumstances there was not going to be anyone there, and it is what it is.
Exactly. All right.
Any other side note is going to be QTV is never going to be a great thing, but
doesn't that remind you of doesn't that remind you of something that happened years ago during the Attitude Era where they had a hidden camera back there and somebody was behind it?
GTV was at least a little better than this. This was just a pure ripoff of TMZ and just has Johnny TV.
Oh, for sure.
He feels like he's still
Johnny many names.
Johnny, well, it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like he's missing The Miz because it still feels like he's playing this last WWE character where he's sidekick to The Miz on AEW TV. I'm just like, this man has more talent than we know and has this ability, but we give him care. But I guess this is what he wants to do. I don't know. It's just,
If you want to see him do good work, you have to go back to Lucha Underground.
Johnny TV needs to be off my TV. Anyways, let's wrap this up real quick with AEW Collision from last night. Payback was on, and then we had Collision. So Collision was surely trying to make moves to get interesting. And Sean, here's on yet another busy night to prepare for others. Oh, I'm confused.
I took the notes from Fightful.com.
Well, it says, Sean here on yet another busy night. To paraphrase another former AEW star, what do you all want to talk about? The Chief Collider is gone, but Collision goes on. So I don't know what that is.
In other words, disregard that.
Anyway, so we get the beautiful
yeah.
pre-taped Tony Khan message where God, that man looks terrified. I think we've all seen it by now, right? We've seen the opening to Collision where Tony Khan was like, I don't know. He looks scared to me. Anyway, Tony Khan's opened the show with a pre-taped message saying that he made the toughest decision of his Okay. Sorry, timeout.
Swipe.
This is the great thing about being live is when you have a kid that's trying to go do something, and you're like, okay, thank you for letting me know, not coming in and barging in the middle of the stream. Anyway, so we got. I
got one here. He's taking a nap.
Well, mine's leaving to go bowling, so. But we'll leave that kind of there. Anyways, Tony Khan opens the show with a pre-taped message saying he made the toughest decision of his professional life today and terminated Phil Brooks' CM Punk. He addressed the incident that led to the decisions, saying it put production people and others backstage at risk. It was the only time in his 30 years of being around professional wrestling and his 4 years of working in the back, putting together matches, that he ever felt unsafe at work, that he felt his life was in danger. He said he felt his life was threatened, life was in danger. After the review by a disciplinary committee and the legal team, the unanimous decision was for Phil Brooks, CM Punk, to be fired from both his wrestling talent contract and his employment contract. So what that means, we're still trying to get details on it. Khan pivots to say we're going to have a great show tonight, and All Out is going to be great, and we get probably one of the best theme song openings for any wrestling show, Elton John's at Saturday night. Let's go. Kevin Kelly immediately kicks it to
Let's effing go.
Kevin Kelly immediately kicks it to Tony Schiavone in the ring. The crowd is alive, ready to go. Of course, it was also, I guess we didn't see that Tony Khan actually came out to the crowd live before the start of the show and told the fans live in the audience. So Tony Khan wound up getting what I figured he was going to get. He was going to get booed. He was at a loss. If he kept Punk on the thing, he was going to get booed by certain fans. If he fired Punk like he did, he was going to get booed. So the fans were already riled up. There was a lot of boos when we had Ricky Starks come out in what was a great segment with Tony Schiavone. Starks comes out and challenges Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to a strap match. And he talks about Big Bill, saying how much he admires him for overcoming addiction and continuing to strive. Starks feels like crying. There's a lot of things he could say right now. It hurt to watch All In at home last week, but he's going to do his job, and he's not going to let his moment pass. So we get the Ricky Steamboat coming out, and Ricky Steamboat brings the contract saying, hey, I've got this all figured out. You just got to sign it. It says on the contract that they show on TV, Starks versus the Dragon, which left you to wonder what's that mean. Of course, Starks signs the contract, and Ricky turns around and goes, everybody knows me as the Dragon Ricky Steamboat, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Ricky Steamboat. And he goes, but there is another dragon, and we get Bryan Danielson's music hit. Bryan comes out, signs the paper, and now we're going to get Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks in a strap match. And we continue to get the back and forth between them, and we're going to be excited for that match. John Moxley's back, gives a beautiful promo talking about his shot at the International Championship against Orange Cassidy on All Out. He talks up Cassidy as providing the people who called him a cosplay wrestler wrong, but he's a technician of the highest order, and he's going to punish OC Orange Cassidy tomorrow night. Real wrestlers don't look for a way out. He hopes tomorrow night Cassidy won't do that. The former men known as the Jericho Appreciation Society make their way to the ring. Max Caster wraps the Trios champ to the ring with a shot of each of the opponents and with a dig at the Chicago White Sox. Tim Anderson for getting slept by Jose Ramirez last month. The crowd isn't completely into it, but the Danielson returns saying, okay. I don't know where we're going. Anyway, so we had the House of Ass versus Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker for the AEW Trios belts. Great match that went back and forth. Eventually, the House of Ass defeated Garcia, Menard, and Parker via pinfall after a mic drop from Mark Caster on the Matt Menard to retain the AW Trios tag teams. Parker's yelling at Kevin Kelly for some reason, but he just kicks it to Lexi Nair backstage. We have an interview with the Dark Order to talk about the Ring of Honor tag team title shot at All Out. And fiery Alex Reynolds reminds us they used to hang out with Adam Cole and that he trained MJF and is very proud of his success, but they're going to do whatever it takes to win the belts. Dark Order. Shivani catches up with Starks and Bill. Ricky talks about overcoming obstacles and says tomorrow night he's going to again show everyone he's absolute Ricky Starks. Aussie Open versus Nick Wayne and Commander, because we're just going to team up Nick Wayne with whoever. Aussie Open, of course, wins. Great match, great back and forth. Aussie Open doing what they're doing. Nick Wayne kind of floating around here, just teaming up with whoever Tony Khan feels like he should. Tony's back in the ring. He puts over young Nick. Bright future. Oh, we also, is this for, okay, yeah. Future, despite this disappointing outcome, Wayne says that what's really disappointing to him is that Darby Allin forgave A.R. Fox for what he did to him. Darby's out to talk about their history. He first saw Nick as an 8-year-old, and he was there when Allin had a falling out with his dad buddy. Buddy died before he had a chance to make peace with him, and Darby has to live with that. He doesn't want to repeat that with Fox and asks Nick to find in his heart to forgive him, or forgive A.R. Fox. Allin wants Wayne in his corner tomorrow, and Nick seems to accept when Christian Cage's music hit and Daddy Cage is in the arena. Cage appears with Luchasaurus, and Christian mentions that while he was running down Nick's dad's last week, he forgot to ask for his mom's name. He'll just have to slip into her DMs. He asks if Nick is Darby's pity project. The crowd chants something that makes Christian break, but he quickly gets back on target, saying, "We're in Chicago, so the crowd can smell losers. It is the home of the Blackhawks, after all." His advice to Nick is to bring a towel tomorrow, but his monster is going to destroy Darby, and he means they will remain the TNT champions. Claudio Castagnoli and Will Yuta are backstage. Claudio says Eddie Kingston returned from Japan and beat the youngest member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Big deal. They beat up Will Yuta every day in practice. He gives him several Europeans to prove it. The Ring Honor champion watches Eddie in Japan, crying as he met his heroes. He didn't think he could have any less for Kingston, but he was wrong. Eddie and Katsuya Shibata are in a different location. Kingston starts
Katsuyori Shibata.
There you go. New Japan expert right there. He knows the names. Kingston starts to ask Yuta Wheeler why he's letting Claudio Castagnoli treat him like a bitch, but moves on. He knows Claudio won't give him another one-on-one, so he's going to make the most of tomorrow's tag. He asks Shibata if he has anything to say, and the wrestlers use a translation app to tell the BCC duo they suck. We get an interview with the new women's champions, Saraya and Ruby Soho, backstage. They want to know the dissension. They bring up the dissension amongst the outcasts, but the champ calls the mean girl behavior. She should focus on her and winning her title in front of her country people, but they're stuck back in America, and she can mail Chicago's breathing from here. A quick little promo and kind of leaves the whole what's going on with the outcast up in the air. Soho cuts her promo about beating Kurt Statlander, and says that won't change this week, or how Kurt Statlander has never beaten Soho, and that's not going to change this weekend. She's not worried about Toni Storm, although she did just see her outside throwing shoes at birds. They're going to beat the homegrowns again tonight and march off they march off. Tony Schiavone's in the ring, and we get the warm Dennis Rodman, old man Rodman. I mean, he looked old. But he gets a big ovation in Chicago, where he was a bull and a 5-time champion. Rodman gets in the ring, pulls out a cigar. Schiavone's going to ask him when we hear that terrible music of Jeff Jarrett's hits, and Karen leads the whole crew down. She ushers Tony out of the ring and hands the mic to her man, and Double J talks about their history with Dennis Rodman and says everyone in the ring has a lot in common. Saddam Singh is one of the greatest basketball players alive, and so is Rodman. Jay Lethal has been a champion since day one, just like Rodman. Sanjay strives for world peace everywhere he goes, just like Rodman. And Karen looks great in a dress, just like Rodzilla. Jarrett says the group they were in was a for life thing. So I guess Jarrett's in it for life with Hulk Hogan too, because can't have it one way without the other, right? At any rate, Rodman should join his group, and Dennis tells Chicago it's great to be back for the first time in 13 years. It's great they're enjoying AEW wrestling, and says that when he was in the NBA, Shaq was as big as Saddam Singh, and he kicked his ass. Duck clears the ring and talks to Robin, but that's clearly a setup for an attack, so here comes the Trios champs. And so we get Anthony Bowens wants to take on Jeff Jarrett, Ali tonight, but Billy Gunn says the Acclaim challenge the three of them, Jeff Jarrett, Saddam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, or whoever combination to a match. But Billy Gunn's like, look, I'm too old for another match. You don't get beat twice in one night. So they say they're going to have a trios match tomorrow night. So it's going to be Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Saddam Singh against the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass for the trios tag titles. And Dennis Rodman will be in the corner of Daddy Ass and the Acclaim. We're getting a video package of Shane Taylor about his Ring of Honor title match against Samoa Joe tonight, and he's going to knock Joe out and take the belt. Joe responds that he says this week has been a turbulent one and would be an understatement. When times are tough, the Jackals come out. He understands that tomorrow will be big for Taylor, and he hopes to win back the Ring of Honor TV title, but Shane is going to wish Joe would stop hitting him and regret putting Joe's name in his mouth at all. Joe pulling off his best Will Smith impression there. Keep my name. No. Anyways. We get the entrance for the women's match. Toni Storm stopped arguing with the birds in the parking lot, apparently, and got her gear on. And we have the Outcast versus Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, and Chris Statlander. We get Storm and Stat starting off, and the TBS champs' power is initially too much for the former women's champion. We go back and forth. Eventually, the Outcasts get the pinfall. Soho is locked up with Baker, and Saraya sprays paint in Britt's face while the referee isn't looking, and that's it. And we get the pin. 1, 2, 3. The Outcasts win. And I think Soho continuing your feud. Then we got Adam Cole in a pre-taped interview about respecting the Dark Order, but how they're going to beat them in the ring for the Ring of Honor titles. MJF sent him some things to say about them, and he also mentions being trained by Reynolds at the Creative Pro, then insults both of them, and the final one is too disgusting for Cole to read on air. We had Statlander backstage saying how they won. Of course, we get Powerhouse Hobbs versus GPA. I guess I missed this one. Powerhouse Hobbs over GPA. Miro's out, and they waste no time getting physical. The brawl to the outside. Miro sends Powerhouse Hobbs over the barricade, and Hobbs bounces. We get a card rundown for the All Out. There's now a pre-show Battle Royal and a pre-show Women's Trios match, so we're going to get 2 more matches tonight, featuring Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante versus Hikaru Shida, Will Nightingale, and Sky Blue. So that'll be on the pre-show. All right. We get another video.
Gonna be a long night, fellas.
Hopefully not. Last night was good. It was short. It got to the point. Got everything done. We get another video package of Kenny Omega and Takeshita tomorrow. That is very Don Callis heavy. Breaking it down. Orange Cassidy gets a backstage promo. He hates this. He doesn't want to be talking. His first AEW singles match was in Chicago, and he proved he belongs. Then it was last year at Forbidden Door against Will Ospreay, and he proved he could hang. Now it's Moxley, who's just the best. When AEW needed him to, Mox put the whole company on his back. Tomorrow he'll take it off his back and put it on. Cassidy will take it off Moxley's back, put it on his, because Orange Cassidy, he's the international champion, and he does not have a catchphrase, which is now becoming his catchphrase. Jim Ross is here, and after a recap of the Bullet Club Globe and the FTR's All-In match, it's time for the main event. We get Dax Hardwood versus Jay White. Which was a great match. He went back and forth. Eventually, Jay White hit the Blade Runner and got the 1, 2, 3. The Bang Bang Gang corners Cash Wheeler as he checks on his partner, and the Young Bucks are out to save. And then the Young Bucks tried to shake hands with FTR, but FTR walks away this time. And that was a quick rundown version without a whole lot of details on what happened on AEW Collision. Yes. So, any thoughts, comments, concerns on AEW Collision? Gentlemen.
I don't know if there's so much about questions about Collision, but I think the real question is, what are you excited for tonight based off of what we saw on Collision?
You know, for me, honestly, I want to actually see how this Mox and Orange Cassidy match is going to turn out. Just out of curiosity, not so much excitement, just curiosity, because they've let Cassidy hold this belt for who knows how long and run with it. I just want to see if they're going to finally let him drop it.
It'll be interesting.
Would you call Orange Cassidy AEW Roman Reigns?
Yeah. I could definitely say that. That is definitely the man of AEW right now.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. We should have a good show tonight, and we'll see how it falls out. And, of course, we'll be back here live to cover all that after the event. So it will be a long night, and you will be here to join us, right? Anywho, let's go for some housekeeping before we break into news, updates, rumors, and whatever else we want to talk about real quick. If you're watching us live, thank you. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching us later, great for checking us out. Go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for notifications because you always want to be notified when we go live or put up new videos or content. So you want to stay on that. Otherwise, we are here live. We will be back tonight for All Out Live. So, breaking news. CM Punk got fired before Collision. Tony Khan came out and announced that not only in a pre-tape segment, but actually live on air. The fans in Chicago booed him. That's just a fact of life. He was going to get booed or cheered one way or the other, just how it's going to go down. Punk's gone. It does seem like the third-party non-wrestler stipulation was that the story goes that Perry came back through the back. Punk said, "I can beat your butt," and then kind of went after Perry, throwing a punch at him. And then, I guess it was a punch, a push, a shove, and a punch. I mean, I guess he was the aggressor. This was all caught on videotape. They tussled, put him in chokehold. I guess it was really severe. People in the backstage almost got hurt. People were scared. It just went bad. It seems like Punk was the heavy aggressor the more this story kind of keeps coming. It seems like Punk just went after Jack Perry for whatever real reason over a stupid comment. I don't know. It just keeps leading me back to the fact that I think Punk maybe wanted to get fired. And there's a lot of speculation. I know, and here's the weird thing. I hear a lot of people out here saying CM Punk can't go to WWE because a lot of people there have heat on him. One being Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins doesn't like CM Punk. Which Seth Rollins has made that statement. He thinks he's a cancer, and that's fine. But then people keep telling me that Triple H hates CM Punk. Triple H hates CM Punk. And I'm going, if I recall, the last speculation rumors is when he went to Raw, he went and personally talked, like he went to go talk to Triple H to A, clarify if he could be there, and B, to make peace. And Triple H did not have a problem with CM Punk. He may not like CM Punk in the way he dealt with things in the past, but as far as I know, CM Punk or Triple H is kind of over the CM Punk. It's like, hey, it happened, it's done. You know, it was Triple H that said, hey, Punk, you can stay, but I got to call the big guy. Like, Triple H didn't have a problem with him being in the arena. And now there's speculation that maybe Punk was there trying to get a contract.
Yeah.
Trying to see what WWE might offer him, which may have made sense to leading this. So the fact that people are saying he can't go back to WWE because too many people hate him in WWE. We know Punk went there. We know there was the big story that he made peace with The Miz and Triple H. As I recall it, those were the two names he really made peace with. Now, Seth Rollins may not like Punk, and that's that. But I don't think Seth Rollins is not the type not to do business. He may not like Punk as a person or the cancer, but I mean, I don't know. It's just I'm like kind of
He'll do business.
I'm kind of going. Everybody thinks Triple H hates Punk, and I'm going. I don't know if Triple H ever really came out flat said he hated Punk. I think he just kind of like disliked his attitude and some of his choices of behavior. But I don't think Triple H has ever really been anybody to really hate anyone. Triple H is usually the one that brings everybody back together. So, I mean, and the fact of the matter, as I recall, Triple H sat there and talked with Punk. They hashed it out, and Triple H was like, yeah, I don't care if you're here, but I have to get clarification from the big guy. That was the statement, so.
We got to remember, CM Punk's last words before they hashed it out was, yeah, I don't need to be in the ring with you. You need to be in the ring with me.
Well, and that is what it is, but Triple H is more about business and all the other jazz. So I mean, if it's
of course, I'm not knocking that. If they hashed it out, they hashed it out, and let's do business. Unless the big guy still has strings to pull, then tell everyone else.
The big guy's
put your big boy pants on. Let's do business.
The big guy's in charge, but right now, again, I will go back to the way Vince McMahon is. He will work with his enemy to destroy his enemy. So. If there's business to be down there, there's money to be made there, which right now there's going to be a lot of money. I can see him going over there. Now, the whole contract, the termination with clause, nobody knows. Could CM Punk get some money? Maybe. It depends on how all the writing on this contract read. We do not know. There's believed to be no clause, no competition, or no no 90-day compete clause with the termination.
Yeah.
So we will have to see how that plays out. So I guess we can do like Wrestling Talk and go CM Punk number 30 for the Royal Rumble confirmed, But we will see what's going to happen with CM Punk.
I don't know if you guys seen it, but I posted it the other day. There's the speculation of, I guess, Survivor Series is in Chicago this year.
Yeah. Supposedly.
So I don't know. There's a lot of things floating around. I'm like you. I bite down on whatever I can get.
Yeah.
Let's go from there.
We will just have to wait and see how it plays out. I don't know. If he's in Chicago, that's great. If he's not, he's not. I don't know if it'll be that soon. It'll be interesting to see. Now, it does seem like WWE is still building the War Games. So I think we're going to get Judgment Day with JD McDonough joining Judgment Day. And then I forgot. I know who the other person is that's going to be on the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes side. It'll be Seth Rollins. We've got to get Seth Rollins back around with Judgment Day and Damian Priest cashing in and something. So I think we're going to see that feud continue a little longer. So I don't know where CM Punk falls into. If he comes to Survivor Series, I don't know what you do with him. Maybe he shows up on the Grayson Waller effect. Maybe John Cena brings him back. Cody Rhodes used all his play to bring back Jey Uso. Maybe John Cena uses all his play to bring back CM Punk. Edge is all elite.
Okay, maybe
Edge is all
elite.
Is he? I don't know. I'm just going over. Edge is all elite. Everybody's saying Adam Copeland's going to AEW. People inside WWE are Adam Copeland's going to AEW. Adam Copeland's AEW bound. What else is Adam Copeland going to do? He's going to go to AEW. Adam Copeland's own interview, Edge's own video that he took of himself in his house in his chair was just a work because Edge is working us because he's really going to AEW. I'm like, I don't know if there's anything for him to do it. The only thing I see for him at AEW is to team up with Christian and then eventually Christian Edge versus FTR, and that's it. He said there's nothing he can bring there. Do we really want to see Adam Edge Copeland, Sexton Hardcastle, whatever name he's going to use as AEW World Champion?
I forgot about that one. Damn.
I don't know. After I saw Edge's interview, I don't know. Of course, they're all good at what they do, so, I mean, he could wind up in AEW. But I guess what is true, though, is AEW is really going to have to find a new face for Collision. They've lost their face for Collision, and now they're going to have to find a new face for Collision. Of course, we saw the Young Bucks on Collision last night, so, anything's possible. The soft brand split looks to be ending. It seems like Tony Khan has notified WB